So, Rockstar just quietly updated a support page. No announcement, no trailer, no fanfare. Just a few lines buried in their documentation. And when I read it, I had to reread it twice because if I'm understanding this correctly, the physical copy of GTA 6 you're planning to buy might come with an expiration date. Let me show you what I found and why it only happens on PlayStation. Okay, so the first thing you need to understand, because a lot of people still don't, GTA 6 has no disc. When you buy the physical edition, the box on the shelf at your local store, you're not getting a game on a disc. You're getting a cardboard box with a download code printed on it. I already talked about that in my last video. But the part that got my attention is what happens to the code in one specific country. Seemingly in Japan, the code doesn't last forever. So here's what Rockstar's own support page says. In Japan, the download code inside a physical PS5 copy of GTA 6 expires 170 days after launch. So if launch is in November 19th, the code expires 170 days later. That means it's worthless around mid-May 2027. Now, why? Is Rockstar being greedy or is Sony being nefarious once again? Rockstar blames regional regulations, and that part actually checks out. Japan has consumer protection laws that require expiration dates to be disclosed on certain digital goods. So, this isn't a Sony or a Rockstar thing, it's the law. But here's the thing no one's answering. If it's just Japanese law, why does it only hit PlayStation? Because Rockstar confirmed in the same documentation that Xbox codes in Japan are not region locked and they do not expire. One platform's code dies in less than 6 months and the other lasts forever. That tells me this isn't really about the law. It's about how Sony's ecosystem is built. So let's talk about Sony's ecosystem because this is where it gets worse. On PlayStation, your account region is locked, like permanently. The moment you create a PSN account, it's tied to a country, and there is no button to undo that regular players know of. The only way to switch regions is to make an entirely new account, a different account. Also, the download codes are locked to the region that they were made for. Here's what that means in plain terms. A code sold in Japan will only work on an account that's also set to Japan. A code sold in the UK only works on a UK account. So if you import that Japanese or UK copy, but your account is set to, I don't know, Estonia or the United States, the code just won't redeem. It's not broken, it's not a scam. It simply refuses to work outside of its home region. Now, stack those two facts together and you see the trap, right? Say you're a collector, or you're overseas, or you just want to import a cool Japanese copy and you need to redeem it before 5.5 months, roughly. Miss that window and you're holding an empty box with a dead code inside. Think about that. For collectors specifically, someone could buy a sealed Japanese copy in 2028. Shrink wrap, perfect box, authentic, code card inside, and the game entitlement could already be gone. A sealed, mint condition game that doesn't work. And here's one more thing I want to be honest with you about, because a lot of channels are glossing over it. Rockstar hasn't confirmed if the 170-day expiration kills the full game or just the DLC code that ships separately in Japan. And the fact that they haven't, it's its own story. So step back with me. Why is any of this happening? Shipping with no disc, region locked, and expiration dates? Let's follow the money trail. GTA 6 is reported to have cost somewhere between 1 and 2 billion. Some analyses of Rockstar's UK financial filings suggest north of 2 to 3 billion, approaching 4 by launch date. Now, to put it in perspective, Cyberpunk cost about 440 million. Red Dead 2, somewhere around 3 to 5 million. GTA 6 could possibly 4 times that. When you spend that kind of money, you want to control every single dollar that comes back to you. And discs leak money. Used game market, GameStop, eBay, trade-ins, that's money changing hands that the publisher never sees. But a download code, no used market, no resale, no trade-in. That's what I think this really is. The no disc, the region locks, the expiration, they're not separate decisions. They're all pointing in the same direction towards a future where you own nothing. You license to access it, and they decide the terms that you agree to. So here's where I land. This started as a weird little line on a support page about Japan. but it's really a window into where all of gaming is heading. And Xbox handling it differently proves it didn't have to be this way. So I'll leave it with you guys. Does Xbox's region free, no expiry approach give it a real edge? Or is this just the future everywhere and PlayStation happened to get there first? I want to know your thoughts, so tell me what you think in the comments. If you want GTA 6 news that actually checks the facts instead of just chasing the panic, please subscribe. I'm going to keep digging, and I'll see you in the next one.